Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 84 of Petey's Awesome Guest Battle. And my, look what we have here tonight. We have a whole freaking panel joining me here tonight for our special guest stars. Now, before I introduce tonight's guest star, let me introduce tonight's special guest for the evening. First up, my two co-hosts, Mr. Kwame Jacobs and Christopher Petey.
Hey, yo.
And joining us tonight, we have special guest co-host, Kwame's lovely lady Gia from Mexico City, Kenya, and Emmanuel.
Hi.
How you doing? Hello.
And welcome in for the first time ever on the panel, Power Ranger enthusiast, Mr. Stewart.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
And finally, of course, as you just heard him, my best friend, Darius.
How y'all doing, guys? Nice to talk to y'all.
Awesome. And tonight's special guest star, let me just say, we are all very, very, very excited. Tonight's guest star is a Power Ranger legend and a one-of-a-kind actor. My guest at this time is Mr. Jack Guzman. Jack, welcome, sir. How are you today?
Thank you, guys, man. Doing well, brother. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure and honor having you, sir. And we're going to divulge right into the questions. And this is going to be a typical cliche question, and that is, Mr. Guzman, is it Guzman or Guzman? I just want to make sure I say it correctly.
It's okay, man. It's Guzman, but you can say Guzman. It's all good, brother.
Okay.
I'm not too picky about it.
Okay, Mr. Guzman. First question is a typical cliche one, and that is, how did you get your first start or big break into acting? Take us there.
What was my first big break? Is that what you asked?
Yes, sir.
Well, definitely it had to be Power Rangers, man. That was, that was the very, very first time that I was a series regular on the show. And it was definitely my first break. I went literally from being an extra one morning to the next day I had booked that TV series, and that opened up a whole bunch of doors for me.
Very cool, my man. Very cool. Christopher, you had a question, right?
What were your preparations and methods that you do for any role that you do usually?
It's funny you should ask that, man, because I'm one of the few oddballs. I never was interested really in acting. I didn't want to be an actor, so it was really? I genuinely fell into it. And as far as any type of method or schooling or anything like that, I never took any classes, brother. I just got lucky. I booked that series, and I always tell people Power Rangers was like my college. That's where I learned how to hit the marks and how to do and all the stuff that an actor needs to do. I learned by trial by fire, as they say.
Sweet.
Okay.
Awesome.
Sweet. Kwame, Gia, you both had a question?
Oh yeah, I got one. Do you prefer to be playing as the good guy or the bad guys for the roles?
Oh, I definitely enjoy the bad guys better, man.
Most people do.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot funner to be able to be bad and not get in trouble. That's always fun.
And you don't have to worry about breaking the law.
It's good to be bad.
That's what everyone says. It's always fun to be a villain.
It is. I really think
so. Man.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The next question I had for you, Mr. Guzman, and this is a raw. We'll talk about like raw emotion. Like if you were in a scene, if you like in Wild Force, like if there was a scene where you and a co-star of yours had to do a scene in which you both get into a heated argument. Let's say Max and Danny get into a heated argument. And Max, Philip Jean-Marie goes up to you and say, listen, the scene requires us to do like real life emotion. We got to connect on that to tell a story and make it believable. Like, and that's why if he says to you, if we get argument, I need you to scream really loud at me and I need you to make me cry in order to make me sell this. How would you react to the idea? And what would you think about the idea of using real life emotion to try to captivate a perfect storytelling?
Well, first off, I think it's important to do that no matter what scene you're doing, because at the end of the day, what we try and do is emulate life and to be as pure as we can, But specifically for what you're asking me, I think it depends on every different actor, because some actors are different. You have some actors that will literally walk up to you and say, hey, do me a favor. In this argument, man, slap the hell out of me because that'll get me into that character. Another actress or actor might say, hey, don't scream near this. I don't know. Everybody has their things. So it's just, it varies from actor to actor. But for me personally, I strive to always be as natural as possible. And I I have different ways of getting to different things. Like, I think what you're asking, for example, if I have a scene where I know that I have to be tremendously sad, maybe even cry, I think about, my father passing away, or my mom, now she's alive, but I think, God, what the day that she's gone, or my grandmother, I have those feelings, and then right before we start shooting, and that'll take me there. Now, as far as being upset, I think being upset is almost sort of the easiest thing to reach. It's very easy to get there, but the crying, or the feeling, or that moment right before you cry, that for me at least is the hardest moments that I think you have to come up with things that work for you as an actor to get you there. But like your friend was asking a little bit ago, there's some guys that are method actors, that they have their certain methods to get there, and that's the beauty of being a schooled actor.
Interesting.
And from an emotional standpoint, it's always good to prepare for the worst. That thing that could happen in your life. And when you treat something horrible like it already happened, you don't feel the same impact.
Yes and no, because for example, like I've known actors that'll put, let's say they needed to do a certain weird walk, or a page thing or something like that. I've known actors that put rocks, let's say, in their shoes, and then every time they walk, they feel that, and it takes them somewhere. But like you're saying, for me, I don't know. It's just there's really different ways that I get there, But you said something now, man. Sorry, but can you repeat what you just said about the what you just asked me? Because I was going to say something else, and it just completely went blank.
Oh, my question?
No, the other gentleman.
Chris, he's talking to you.
Oh,
Chris.
I was just tacking on to what you were saying, and whereas when you just think of the possibility of one of your loved ones dying, and it's generally good for you mentally. It's always treat it as if it already happened.
Got it.
So
yes, sir.
It does happen.
So my comment about that was, it's kind of tough to do that because, for example, let's say you're getting shot, right? If you've never been shot in your life, how do you know what to do? So it's a certain emotion that you have to think and process, and not only you, but also your character. And I'm a firm believer that, a lot of, or most actors, it's always going to be half of you and then half of the character. And I'm talking even Al Pacino, Denzel, all those guys. If you notice, in all their movies, they will do certain things that they've done in every movie because it's always them. Yes, they're phenomenal actors and they're schooled and all of that, but at the end of the day, we are human beings, and you're going to move your hands a certain way, or you're going to talk, or say a certain word a certain way, or scream a certain way. So all of those things play into it. I definitely think it's always going to be 50-50. So for me, that's a thing that I always like to tell people. Like, for example, yeah, I've never been shot, but I have gotten shot on film and on TV. So it's, what do you do? How do you make it real? So that's where the moment comes where, man, for me at least, I start thinking, okay, first it would be probably a tremendous pain, a certain burning, like something sticking, and you start thinking of different things that help you get there. And that's how I do it. But again, every actor is different.
That's fair. Stuart, you had a question?
Oh, yeah. So, do you prefer voice acting or acting in front of a camera?
I would like to do voice acting also. It's just, I don't know. I've never been, I haven't been casted much. So I don't know if it's because of my voice or my accent or whatever it is. I don't do much voice work. But for me, it would be funner to be voice acting because you don't have to worry about what you look like. You don't have to, none of that matters. But I do truly enjoy working, obviously, in front of the camera. So, I mean, I love it. So either one is fun.
You're entertaining regardless.
You are, man.
Yeah.
Darius, you had a question?
Yes, actually I do. Do you prefer more of a serious role or more of the comedic type of characters in stories?
I definitely prefer the serious roles more. And I think that at least, for example, like I did a movie called Walk of Fame with Scott Eastwood and Chris Kattan and a whole bunch of other pretty big known actors. And for example, in that movie, I was funny, but I was serious. So I enjoy being serious where the seriousness is what's funny. But if I have a choice, yeah, man, I prefer the dramatic roles and that kind of stuff because I just don't feel like I'm, that, which on Power Rangers, it was different because I was kind of like, hey, guys, what's going on, All right. Where
Typical daddy.
that's not me, so it's a lot easier for me to be sort of aggressive and all because I'm an alpha male in my life, so that comes easier. So for me to be funny, like comedy funny, it's more the straightforward comedy rather than, like a comedic guy because I don't come across that comedic,
Oh, okay. So that must have been really hard for you when you were to play those Power Ranger characters where you had to be kind of.
Dude, it was so hard, and that's why I say that I learned so much on that show. To give you another example, we were once on set, and I don't remember the episode or the scene, but I had a banana in my hand, and Max had just gotten hurt, and I walk up to him and I say something like, "Oh, wow, Max, like what happened?" So the first time, I was like, "Oh, wow, Max, what happened?" And they were like, "No, cut. Listen, you need to be like just over the top." And that's hard for me because I'm very self-conscious. So I was like, "Hey, Max, what happened?" No, Jack, like more. And to the point that I got upset and I was like, "What, you want me to act like an idiot?" Wow, Max, what happened? Yeah, that's it. So I learned to kind of let go of that. Oh, I have to be cool, like you just have to, it's a play world. So the first thing I would say is that remember that when you're acting, it's a world where nothing is stupid. You can take chances, you can do whatever you want, and it's okay. You're never going to be like, oh, wow, you're an idiot. So that helped me a lot.
Because that would be a barrier for me to overcome mentally because I'm kind of reserved myself for me to be like this. Sure. Like, that's not really me. I'm more of the kind of guy that sits in the corner like, all right.
Exactly. Yeah, we're complete opposites. So I get you. Exactly. But again, that's why that role helped me out so much because it let me let loose of that, sort of jock mentality. I was always an athlete growing up. So I thought everything, I have to be cool all the time. And no, that role taught me that, no, man, let go and be a fool sort of, and that it came out great.
Awesome.
That's just so funny because like I had that exact same thing for me like back in high school when I was doing drama. I'd be very low energy at times like during drama, and so my teacher would constantly be like, "No, we need more from you, and I would like go over the top, assuming that I was like being maliciously compliant, like, "Oh, what is this? What you want?" And then my dad would be like, "Yes, that is what I want from you." It's like, "Oh, okay,
correct."
Correct. You're right.
And that's another thing that at least to me is important, that and which is it's not necessarily a bad trait, but it's not something that I would tell people to strive for. But I am the type of actor that when I finish a scene and I put a lot of effort into it, I do appreciate when the director comes over and it's like, "You nailed it," or "Hey, good job." Like I need that reassurance rather than how people say, "Hey, if they don't say anything, that's a good thing." It is. But I like to be told, "Hey, that was good," because if not, then in my mind, I'm like, "Oh man, did he like it? Or are they just moving on because we don't have time or what's going on?"
Yeah, I agree.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I've been through that. I go all out when it comes to acting, and I'm an acting legend with my school. Well,
Nice.
years ago.
Very
Thanks.
cool. And
I give everything I got. I give it pure emotion.
Awesome.
And Mr. Guzman, before we get into the Power Ranger Wild Force questions, we want to cover some of your other work that you've done in the past,
Sure.
live action. Kenya?
Sure, absolutely.
Oh, yes. Hola, Dani. Saludos desde México.
Gracias, Kenya.
¿Cuáles son tus recuerdos de grabar el show de Drew Carver como Joe? Si lo puedes contestar en inglés, mejor, porque pues los demás hablan inglés.
Claro. So she asked me how it was to be on the Drew Carey show. And I have to say, man, that was one of the most awesome experiences I've had ever in my acting career. I had a normal small part in an episode of that show. And Drew Carey is one of the most amazing and humble people that I've ever met in the industry. He actually had a nice basket with flowers and food and everything, and they put it in your trailer in a beautiful letter, handwritten, or hand signed, I should say. where he was like, "Hey, man, thank you so much for being a part of our show and welcome. And we're excited for you to be here." And that's something that guy's a mega star. There's no need for him to do that. So for him to go out of his way, or the crew and that cast, to treat someone like myself, that I was there for only one episode, it feels phenomenal. You really feel welcome.
Sweet.
Nice.
Emmanuel, you had a question?
Yes, absolutely. I have a question for Mr. Jack Guzman. So at this time, do you have any memories of working on House?
I do. Actually,
yes.
that was another, man, phenomenal show. Imagine that actor from House. I can't remember his name right now, but the guy is just amazing, man. And sometimes you work on certain shows where the actors are so amazing that you almost stand back and you're almost like a fan. You're there, but you're watching them going, "Wow, dude, now I see why you guys are so amazing." But in that show, it was just a great another episode. I was there for one episode, but again, another great experience in the sense of I learned a lot. And I did realize, though, that I probably would not be that good at a show, at a medical show, because just the verbiage or the language that they use is so hard, so hard. So it's tough, man. But those guys work really hard just on getting the proper verbiage of of whatever they're saying, because it has to be on point. You can't say something and doctors or nurses look at it and go, "Ah, that's not how you say that,"
And I was excited when I saw you when I saw you on House, and I was just like, "Oh my God, that's Jack Guzman! It's amazing!"
Thank you, man. Thank you. No, yeah, that was a fun show, man.
I am a big fan of Doctor House. ¿En qué temporada estuviste? No recuerdo muy bien.
Man, she's asking what episode it was, and I gotta be honest, I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But if you look on online or IMDb, it should tell you what episode it was.
Yeah, I'll send you which episode it is, Mr. Guzman.
Okay,
House is about a good 20 years ago, I think. About good 15.
Yeah, probably 15, because Power Rangers was what, 20 years ago?
Time flies.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And I worked on House after that.
Yeah.
Kwame, you had a question?
Oh yeah. I want Gia to ask this one.
Okay. What was it like being on the TV show Dexter?
Oh my gosh! Now that for me personally was, man, awesome, because Dexter, it was such a great show, and again, the acting was so fun, and everyone there was so great. However, I will say this, that it's, for me as an actor, it was phenomenal, but there's a lot of people that when I mention, "Oh, I was on Dexter," and then they're like, "Oh my God, you were on Dexter? How awesome." And I say, "Yeah, I was on the 7th season." And they're like, "Oh, damn, but that 7th season was it was kind of crappy." So I'm like, damn, I was on the show, but once the show was on its way down, I should say. But no, another great experience, man. That show, to me, Dexter is one of my favorite shows of all time. So obviously a big part to be excited to be a part of it,
I see.
I love the show too. I love Dexter.
I thought you were great in it.
Great
Thank
show.
you.
Great show.
Thank you. Even though that that was, I played a Colombian drug dealer or drug kingpin, so it wasn't a far of a stretch.
I mean, what matters is you tried and you did well in it, though.
You were
Thank
very
you,
good in
man.
that
I
role,
appreciate.
sir.
Yeah, I got my arm broken.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
damn.
I broke my wrist playing when I was a kid back in 2003, and when I was playing, and all of a sudden I was and when I broke my wrist, you can't even imagine the pain that I was in. And when
But see, look at that. That's another perfect example of what we were talking about earlier. Because again, when they break my arm in that scene, the director said, "Hey, man, have you ever broken any bones?" And I was like, "No, I've never broken anything." So again, how would I give off the idea that, okay, this is what it must be like? And I just, again, I got myself there through thinking of different things, and obviously you guys thought it was okay, so it worked out pretty good.
Awesome. Awesome.
Interesting.
Chris,
Wow.
your question?
Did Kwame have something to say?
No, Kwame didn't say anything.
Okay. Anyway, so you also did another favorite of mine, which is Sons of Anarchy. Do you have pretty good memories of that? And also, what's your opinion about the spin-off Mayans, or focusing on Mayans?
Sons of Anarchy was another awesome show, man. For me, that one was really cool too, because as a younger kid, I used to watch Al Bundy. I don't know if you guys know.
Oh,
that show.
Married with Children.
Oh, I know a little bit of it.
I don't think I've heard of it, but keep talking.
So Married with Children, that was a show that I watched when I was younger. And then imagine in Sons of Anarchy, I got to arrest Peggy.
Katie Seagal. Katie Seagal.
Oh,
She's in it.
So for me,
That's
Katie
right.
Seagal, was an actress that I used to look at and be in love with her. And I was like, man, this is so for me to work on that show and actually work with her and get to arrest her and all of that. Another amazing experience, man. Awesome.
She still looks good. She still looks good.
Oh yeah, she's phenomenal. She's a great actress.
She is. I love Katie Seagal. She's such a great actress.
Yeah.
Good to know, man.
And then the spin-off of Mayans, again, great show. And I knew a lot of those guys from working with them on different shows, and I'm very proud and happy that they're doing. I don't know if they're still running, but they had a great run a little bit. They had a great run with that show. It's a really cool show.
It is. Kenya, your next question?
Oh, okay. My next question is your guest spot on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh my gosh. Again, so It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Man, that was another incredible part because that show has such a huge following. I personally never saw the show because it's not the type of show that I enjoy or I watch. But the fans, oh my God, that's one show that even though I had a small part, still today, people come up to me like, hey man, I remember when you were on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, so again, just a tremendous fan base on that show.
Sweet.
Wow.
That show's been going on since, I want to say 2004, maybe?
Yeah, this has been
Something
around.
like
Yeah,
that.
that's about right.
For a while.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah,
whatever the
great
writers are
fandom,
doing, they're
man.
doing it right.
And it's like still going strong.
It is.
Mhm.
Stuart, your question?
Yeah. So, what was it like working on the Connors as Officer Rodriguez?
Man, the Connors, another show that imagine a lot of those people I used to watch when they were on Roseanne, when I was younger. So to work on the Connors with them, again, I got treated amazing. And that was actually one of the last shows I did right before COVID. So just a cool experience, man. Again, just, another awesome experience for me and learned a lot from those guys that are such veterans and they've been doing it at such a high level for such a long time.
No doubt.
Plus, I got to wear a fat suit. So I was a fat guy on it.
Oh boy.
Awesome.
And now, Mr. Guzman, the moment we all been waiting for, the Power Ranger questions. And all of us have a lot of questions to ask you about this.
No worries, brother.
And I'm going to start out with this first one, too.
Sure.
And it was memories of your audition for Power Rangers Wild Force. And how did it lead to you getting the role as Danny Delgado, the Black Bison Ranger?
So as far as the audition, man, I don't know if you guys are aware, but the entire cast was already casted, including the Black Ranger. But during the training, they fired the guy that was the Black Ranger because I don't know what he was doing or something, but they ended up firing him. So they recasted that. So when I came along, everyone had done already like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 auditions, where for me, I went to the first one. And then obviously I got the callback, and then that was it. At the callback, they basically told us, listen, we'll let you guys know by tonight at 8 o'clock. But the problem was that when I was in the room, I went ahead and I did my scene and whatever. And one of the producers was like, hey, man, that was really good. We liked it. Have you seen the show? And I was like, to be honest with you, man, I saw the show one time a long time ago, and I don't like it, bro. That's not my kind of show, And they all looked at me like, what? And I was just like, hey, I'm just being honest. So when I went home and I didn't get the call, I felt so dumb. I was like, God, I should have shut my mouth. Maybe that's why they didn't give me the role. I shouldn't have said that. But then the next morning, my agent called and was like, hey, man, you booked the show. Congratulations. Go to Santa Clarita. You start shooting on Monday, So I was worried because I literally went from being an extra one day to, again, a series regular the next day. So for the first 2 weeks, probably, man, every time that I would hear the director yell cut, I thought they were going to come up to me and say, hey, you know, sorry, man, this is not working out. You're not good. Get out of here, you know?
Wow.
Damn.
I'm sorry that happened.
Can't believe you had to go through all that since 2002, man.
Yeah.
It was interesting, but again, it was awesome because I learned, man. I learned so much. I will always forever be grateful to that show for everything that I learned as an actor. Definitely. Again, that was like my college.
That's true.
Yeah.
Chris, your question.
When you got chosen for your role, what was your initial reaction?
Oh, I was stoked. I mean, imagine, I really didn't know what I was getting into because I didn't realize how big, again, of a fandom this show had. You know, I never watched it as a younger guy, so I didn't know. But yeah, man, when I got that phone call, imagine, it was surreal.
Awesome. Just awesome. Stu, your question, sir? Stuart?
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, my phone was acting up there. Now it seems to be working. What are sorry. Here it is. What were some of your more memorable stunts while working on the show?
I mean, if you any of the fight scenes,
can you guys hear me?
they were always fun. Is just the thing is that I always basically say anytime that you used to see us in the helmets, that was the stunt doubles. You know, we didn't do a lot of those flips and a lot of those cool stuff because if we got hurt, you know, production would have to stop and all of that, and it would cost a lot of money. Whereas if the doubles get hurt, I mean, I hate to say it, but they can be replaced a lot easier, sort of, you know.
Yeah.
Plus, the stunt team from Japan, they were phenomenal, man. Those guys, they could do. I've seen them do a flip from a second floor and land on their backs and do things like that. That you're like, God, how do these guys not get hurt? But they were incredible. So they obviously made us look really good. So basically, I mean, the fight scenes were fun, but I'm not one of those guys that really enjoys to do, you know, that much. Like when there's a lot of action, I'm a firm believer in, dude, that's why you have stunt people, and I enjoy giving them work. So it's like, hey, you go ahead and do your job, and they appreciate that. I'm not one of those actors that likes to say, oh, no, I want to do all the action. Let me do it. No, I'm good. I'll pass, you know, I'll let them do it.
Save your butt.
Alas, not one can be as bold as Jackie Chan or Keanu Reeves.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
no, look how you have, Tom Cruise, man. That guy does incredible stuff. And, you know, again, it's not that I knock it. To me, it's not that it's good or bad. It's just my personal opinion. I'm not one of these guys that likes to do all that stuff. You know, like when people ask me if I still train and fight and do martial arts and all that, it's like, nah, man, I'm almost 50 years old. I don't want to be doing that, you know?
Can I say,
that's very understandable.
Can I say one stunt, Kwame, before you ask your question? There is one scene that I absolutely love, and it was in Three's the Crowd, Mr. Guzman, where you take a chair and you took that chair and you swung it on their legs of the foot soldiers, and then what you did afterwards is that you charged at both of them. I thought that was really badass of you, sir.
Well, thank you, but you also have to remember that when I did that show, I was 27 years old. You know, so I used to do a lot more kicking and doing flips and all of that kind of stuff. Now, if I throw a kick, man, I might pull my back or pull my hamstring, you know, so I'm not trying to do that anymore.
Oh.
I'm an old man now, guys.
You look amazing, sir. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
Kwame and Gio, your question?
Oh yeah, now it's my turn. All right. For the Wild Force Rangers, would you call Danny is like the muscle of the group?
Oh, 100%. I think he's the gentle giant. Absolutely, yeah. And that was another thing that at the audition, you know, the producers and the directors asked me. You know, they were like, "Hey, do you think you can maintain the shape that you're in throughout the entire year while we shoot these 44 episodes?" And I was like, yeah, man, absolutely. Because again, at the time I worked out a lot. I was in good shape and all of that. So So yeah, I think that character, that was the big thing about it, was I was the gentle giant, whereas all the other guys were they were just a lot more. They were very different than I was.
I see.
I see.
That's cool.
And Manuel, your question?
Yes, absolutely. I got my question. The next question is, what is your most memorable performance in the set?
Most memorable performance on that set or on any set?
Wild Force.
Wild Force.
Wild Force, yes.
Yeah, I would have to say is probably that episode, Never Give Up.
Oh,
Favorite?
Yeah.
And again, man, to
love
be
that
100% honest with you, I mean, it's not that not just that episode alone. It's just that episode was basically about me and Max. So for me, it was really cool that they finally sort of dedicated an episode to us, because a lot of the episodes were usually about the Red Ranger or the other stuff happening, where I felt Max and we were always sort of in the background. So that's why, like, 3 is a Crowd or Never Give Up, all of those episodes that were about us, those are my favorites, because we got to do a lot more acting,
And I will tell you something special, Jack Guzman. The first times when I saw Never Give Up, man, that episode is very special. It hits home for me, because it gave me an important lesson of never giving up.
Yes,
never give up. Always go for your dreams. Keep moving forward, no matter what they say. Just do what you can do what you can do best, and never give up.
Dude, that's a beautiful thing, and that means a lot to me, man, because when I go around the country doing these conventions, I can't tell you how many people just like you right now, they come up to me and they say, hey, man, I was being bullied, or my mother had passed away, or my father, or my family, or whatever trouble they had in their life. They say that they watched my character in that season, and that it really fulfilled them and helped them get through a lot of that stuff. So imagine, now that's more on a personal level. I feel very grateful that I was able to touch so many people without even knowing you. Just the fact that I was having fun working on a program, and that program had such an impact on you. That means a lot to me, man. That's something that it's just, I can't even explain to you how beautiful it is that took place.
Can I say also to Darius, before you ask your question, is that Danny Delgado is a very, and I think everybody is in agreement on this one, is a very, very, very lovable character. And that episode in particular, Never Gives Up. I remember the scene where you're fighting Bell Org, and you have to save Max that's in the tower, and you save him, and you're screaming at him, waking him up. You're going, Max, 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 are you okay? Max, and he's like, why are you screaming?
Typical Danny. He's the big brother figure.
And then there's another one of my favorite episodes, like I said, 3's a Crowd, where they go, did you find anything? And this is after you saw Kendall. Did you find anything? It's like, oh, I found something, all right. I thought that was great. I thought that was absolutely brilliant acting. That was great.
That was another really cool thing, man, that whole sort of love triangle that I had with her. It was beautiful, because I was so naive, or my character was, I was very naive. I was always afraid and kind of just shy. So it was cool, man. It was a lot of fun to play that, because again, very opposite of who I am in real life.
Sure. That guy was a jerk, by the way, that was trying to compete with you and Kendall. He was such a jerk in that episode. That blonde guy.
Yeah.
How can I forget?
He did a good job,
I know, right?
He was good, but he was a jerk to the character.
Yeah.
But that episode was cool.
It was.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Stay there. Your next question?
Actually, I gotta say, who was your closest friend on set, and then who did you work with the most during Wild Force?
Max, of course. Imagine, he was, we had all of our scenes pretty much always together, and we used to work the same days, the same hours, and definitely the story itself was usually me and him. So yeah, we were best friends at the time, and we're still great friends. It's just, now he lives in Los Angeles, he has a family, and he has kids. So, we kind of go apart a little bit, but yeah, he's still a great friend of mine, and we talk all the time. I just saw him in Orlando at the Ranger Stop convention.
Yeah,
so it was, but yeah, him by default. But no, I was friends with everybody. The whole cast was always cool. We all still talk, and we still get along very well.
Awesome.
Well, that's good to hear. That's
That's
awesome.
great.
It is, and Kwame can vouch for me on this one, Mr. Guzman. We've had Philip Jean Marie on a show, and just like you, he's a very wonderful man.
Honestly, he is so freaking cool.
No,
he's
so
so
great
cool.
guy, man. Great guy, and you know he's a good actor too, man. He's gone on to act on a lot of good shows, man. He's done well.
Sweet, and kudos to him.
Yeah,
Manny,
he's a great guy.
He is. Manuel, your next question, my good amigo.
Yes. Yeah, my next question will be. Sorry, guys. My next question.
La policía, the police.
It's a 501 jeans.
Yes. Can you describe working the scenery of the famous animarium?
Yes.
Can I what? I'm sorry?
Yes. Can you describe working the scenery of the famous animarium?
Oh my God, dude, that was, I mean, incredible. The crew and all the people who put that entire scene, the set, it was just amazing. Are you guys familiar with like a stage or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
believe
mean
so.
like not a theatrical stage. I'm talking about like the stages where you shoot TV and shows.
Oh
and
no,
movies.
no,
No,
sir.
Okay, well,
like a soundstage or
yeah, correct. The soundstage. It's huge. It's a huge area. Picture almost like a huge Walmart, let's say, you know, and there's nothing inside on a soundstage. And these people built that entire animarium, and they used real plants and, you know, real dirt and just everything that they could use. And obviously the rocks and stuff are fake, you know, it's made out of foam, but they make it look real.
Oh, yeah.
But that entire set was just incredible, man. Now that I'm older and I've been in the business for so long, I'm so sad that I wasn't living in the moment when I was doing that, meaning I wasn't taking pictures or more videos. And plus back then we didn't have the internet or Instagram, you know, any of that stuff. So I didn't really take too many pictures. And I you know, that sucks now because I would have loved to have those memories. But yeah, the people, the entire crew that worked on that set, it was just unbelievable. I can't even begin to try and explain to you how incredible it was.
Beautiful.
Yeah, kudos.
Wow.
Kudos.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean,
great, man.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've you know, watched Wild Force, but yeah, as a kid, I never noticed that was a soundstage. That to me, that always looked like it was being filmed outdoors. Like that's incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is. Kenya, you had a question?
Oh, my question is, what was it like filming the crossover episode Reinforcement from the Future and working with the Time Force cast?
I love crossovers.
So do I. And also, 1 second.
I love that episode.
What do you got for us,
So
Kwame?
¿Cómo fue grabar el episodio crossover?
So that episode was a lot of fun because obviously we got to work with the people that were, you know, Time Force, which they were previous to us. For us, it was just good in the sense that we were able to ask them, hey, can you give us any tips on what to expect or what to do, or, you know, just anything that they could pass on to us as far as knowledge. But as far as working with them, yeah, again, a great group of guys and girls, and I'm still friends with, you know, Michael Copon, and I see all the other guys when we do conventions, and we always talk about it. That was a great episode, and as far as you know, the fans, it's an episode that a lot of the fans appreciate and like still, so it was fun.
I agree.
It's one of the best team ups we've ever seen, and also the guys from Time Force. I've met one of them, Jason Font. He's one of the nicest guys I have ever met, honestly.
Good, man. Good.
Cool.
Uno de los mejores episodios que he visto.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun shooting that.
Must have been one hell of an experience.
It was, man. It was a lot of fun. Those guys were a lot of fun. We laughed a lot.
Nice. That's what I like
I'm glad to hear.
Yeah.
Great, man.
Definitely one of my favorite episodes of Wild Force, and I wanted to get your opinion on your favorite Wild Force episode, Mr. Guzman.
Yeah.
So again, my favorite was Never Give Up.
Okay.
Oh.
You know, and again, it was just, we got to work a lot. It was fun, and it was about us. So that's definitely one that sticks out in my mind.
Yeah. Very inspirational.
Good. Look how funny, because at the time, again, I was just a young actor having fun, excited to be there, and I didn't realize the impact I was having on a lot of people.
Beautiful, just beautiful.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you've had an impact on every one of us here today.
Hell yeah.
Like you are our childhood heroes.
Yes.
Very
That's
emotional.
amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Very emotions.
No
And
problem.
Kenya, before you ask your question though, you one of the episodes that I mentioned earlier, Three's a Crowd, in which you were fighting for Kendall's affection. Kenya, your question?
Oh, do you see Danny and Max as brother figures?
As brother figures?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I definitely think that, yeah, him and I, at the time, it was like a big brother, little brother, but yet I was sort of maybe the younger brother. It's just in size I was bigger, but he was always like the bigger brother, but yet he got called the kid. So it was always that dynamic between me and him.
Cool. And what was the
Sweet.
memories of working with Sandra McCoy, who played Kendall?
Well, that was phenomenal because once we finished working on the show, she was my girlfriend actually for 3 years. So we went out after we met on the show.
Wow.
She was my girlfriend for 3 years, and she's another amazing girl. Now she's married, has a family, and but as an actress too, at the time she was working quite a bit, and yeah, man, amazing woman. She was one of my favorite girlfriends of all my life.
I cannot
Wow.
believe she was actually
Wow.
your
Oh my
girlfriend.
gosh.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Oh my
That
god.
is incredible.
Oh my
Yeah, we met on the show. We
Like
met
it
on the
knew.
show, and then went out for like 3 years.
Wow.
Aww.
That's adorable.
Oh my god.
Adorable indeed.
And Mr. Guzman, of course, we just mentioned this earlier. Memories of working on the episode Never Give Up.
Memories as far as what?
Like filming this episode.
Again, man, it's like a broken record. Just a lot of fun. It was incredible for me, and there was literally, man, there was times where I would pinch myself and say, God, I cannot believe that I'm here working. And you know, you got to understand also, man, that me coming from Colombia, I never saw myself reaching, you know, even though I'm not a huge star or anything like that, I never saw myself reaching anything in Hollywood to this level. Not even that I wanted to. You know, I always wanted to play professional football. That was my dream, to play for the Miami Dolphins, you know. But obviously I wasn't good enough. I got to college, but I was never going to play in the NFL. So there was times that I would look and again, you know, that impact that I had on people. And once the show started airing, you know, I would walk down Hollywood Boulevard because that's where I lived, and people would go nuts. And I was like, man, this is incredible. I just didn't realize what I was a part of.
I understand.
Sorry, I got to interrupt for one moment. Unfortunately, I do have to get going to work. But thank you guys so much for having me on.
It was a pleasure having you, Stuart.
No problem,
No problem.
man. I'm glad you made it.
Brother.
Bye,
Thank you.
Stuart.
See you
Bye,
soon, man.
Stuart.
Be safe.
Bye, Stuart.